Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this new series of What's My Line. And it's my pleasure to say that with me over the coming months, we will have our regular resident team. Let's meet them straight away. Isabel Barnett. Kenneth Williams. Nanette Newman. And Bill Franklin. Good. Well, that's the team, and this is our first challenger. Left-handed Charlotte Matter, welcome. You're mine, please. Good heavens. Come and sit down. And now, for the benefit of those of you at home, it'll be put on the screen exactly what Charlotte Murter does for a living. If you don't want to see it, close your eyes, because this is what she does for a living. And for the benefit of the team, let me tell you that Charlotte is salaried, and she comes from Belfast. And Bill Franklin will open the biddings.
Good evening, Charlotte. Presumably, I'm right in saying that you don't find your job particularly amusing in the sense of comic.
It can be, but not as a rule.
Not as a rule, I see. In fact, you mean it has comic moments?
It has, yes.
Yes, which are nothing to do with the job itself, just sort of byproducts.
Well,
it could have something.
It could have.
Yes.
It could have.
Yes.
So there is something, it is a job that is light-hearted in context.
No,
it
I wouldn't
not
say
a light-hearted job.
No.
Isabel Barnett.
Good evening to you. Is this a service rather than being concerned with an end product of any kind?
It is a service.
Do you give this service to both men and to women?
I do, yes.
Do they come to you for this service?
They could, yes.
Do they? Do they really come to you for it?
Well, I suppose not.
No, they don't. No.
Oh.
Nanette Newman, I don't think they come to have the service.
Good evening. Does the fact that you're a woman help you in this job that you do? Is it rather more unusual to be a woman doing this job?
The first question was...
Well, I just...
The first question was... You got a no job. And if Kenneth Williams likes to ask...
Well, now, I think you're something to do with medicine.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're nothing to do with medicine at all?
Nothing to do with medicine at all. Bill Franklin, that's
Would
four
you call
down.
it a domestic job?
No, I
No,
wouldn't say
we
it's
wouldn't call it a domestic job. Isabel Barnett, that's 5 down.
Now, it's unusual for a woman, and people don't actually come to you for it, but would I be right in thinking that you don't actually go to them?
I would go to them, yes.
You would go
Yes,
to
I
them?
think she would.
In their homes, you would?
Yes, in the home.
Right. Quickly, let's get on. Is there, would they be glad to see you?
Not particularly.
No, I don't think they'd be particularly
They
glad. Some
wouldn't be
people
glad
would.
to
No.
see you. Do you travel in your job?
Only short distance.
There's a bit of travelling. No, but she's not.
Distances. And people wouldn't be glad to see you. Would they call you because something rather depressing had happened to them?
They might. They might.
And would you help to sort it out for them?
I would, yes.
You would. Is it anything to do with welfare work?
Not particularly.
No, not really welfare work. Kenneth
No,
Williams.
it wouldn't be welfare, and it wouldn't be, of course, anything in the spiritual sense. So,
Would you like to ask that question, or just...
what?
Were you asking a question?
No, I was going to say there was a sort of reaction there, but you're not ordained, obviously, you're not an ordained priest or anything like that. You can't be a woman priest, could you? Couldn't have a woman priest, so she must be something to do with the police. You see. I was going to say that, actually. It wasn't her put the idea. I mean, it was coming up to me, you know what I mean? It was coming over me.
Ask her a
gradually.
question. Come on.
Pardon?
Go on, then.
Yes, well, we're established that you're connected with the police.
No, you didn't.
Well, a
they did.
lady policeman or a woman detective.
I
But
tell you
if a
this.
man is called a detective or a detective inspector or a detective sergeant, what is the correct title for a lady?
Woman detective.
Yes, she's
Just
a
a woman
detective.
detective.
That's what she
And what
is.
were you doing in your mind?
I was preparing a plate to take fingerprints. I was inking the plate.
Oh, I see.
And then rolling
I
it
see.
to
No
darken it to
wonder
take
they aren't
fingerprints.
all that pleased to see you.
Now, Charlotte, you're in the Ulster Constabulary.
That is correct.
How long have
yes.
they had women detectives?
Oh, it's just about this past year that they have women detectives.
Have you always wanted to be a policewoman?
Oh, yes.
Why, particularly?
I enjoyed meeting people and working as a member of a team, and the outdoor life appealed to me.
It's got something to do with your family, too, isn't it?
I have, yes.
Yes. I see. Oh, how many in your family are in it?
Well, my husband's a policeman, and I have a brother policeman, and my husband's father was an ex-policeman.
So she's well and truly involved in it. And in fact, she's got the Duke of Edinburgh's Gold Award as well, haven't she?
That is correct.
Well done.
Yes.
Sorry you don't get our diploma, but thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I wonder just which one of our team it was that got that first.
It was Frank.
Oh, it was Franklin,
right,
was it?
right.
Poor Franklin.
It's no good trying to take away the credit when it's you. The credit goes to me, dearie.
Yes, Kenneth Williams says he's the one. Well, let's have our next challenger sign in, please. David, welcome. Your mime, if you will, please. I must say, I like that one. Right, well now, for the benefit of you at home, this is what David Levy does for a living. And now, for the benefit of our team, David Levy comes from London, and he's salaried, and it's Isabel Barnett to start.
I know I'd be entirely wrong in saying you were putting the divots back, so I'm not going to say that. Do you work, is this a service that you give?
Yes,
Can you give it to both men and to women?
yes,
Would you do it indoors rather than outdoors?
probably yes.
But you could also do it outdoors. How very honest you are, but mostly indoors.
Mostly
Do
indoors.
they come to you for this service?
Yes,
Do they feel any better for this service?
yes, probably yes. They
They
would.
do. You sound-
When you say that, what sort of better do you
David,
mean?
dear, keep out.
Come along. What sort of better do you mean?
Do they
keep going,
do they
press on.
physically feel better for this?
No, they
No,
don't.
not physically.
No, they
Mentally.
don't. Nanette Newman.
Do you work with other people when you're doing this?
Yes,
Would you do this in the home
to a large extent, yes.
to a large extent?
Ah.
Would you also do it in a factory?
Could well be.
Were you...
Franklin's going berserk up here. So wait your turn.
Is he
knows,
trying to
you
give me
know.
a clue?
No.
No, he's keeping to himself this time.
Were you... would I be right in saying that you were perhaps... mending something?
No.
No, he
No.
wasn't mending anything. Kenneth
Oh.
Williams.
Well, I have a theory about this. Now then, I think you were doing something to the floor. You see? I think you were doing something to the floor. And yes, I got a bit of applause there. That's good, that's good. I think it's to do with the floor. I think it's to make the floor look better. I think you're enhancing the floor, and that's why I think you were, you know, a bit doubtful about whether people are going to feel better, because actually they do feel better psychologically when you've done the work on
He
their
was
floor.
not making the floor look better
I
at
didn't
all.
say anything about them. You might...
Bill Franklin. Absolutely nothing to do with it at all. Bill Franklin.
Quite simply, because of that remarkable piece of mime that you did. Are you a carpet layer?
No.
No, he's not a carpet layer. That's really messed you up, Isabel
Yeah,
Barnett,
totally.
hasn't it?
And Isabel,
Good
we've
job,
gone.
Isabel. Come along.
Well, you know, it did look exact. We'd quite made up our minds about that. That's thrown us totally.
It's something to do with the floor. Definitely.
Yes, it is something to do with the floor. He's down there. Could you be polishing anything?
No.
Not
No,
even a
not
floor
polishing anything. 5 down,
No.
5 to go, Nanette.
Were you putting something into the home? I don't know. Were you?
In the mime, no.
You know,
Well-
but he
But
does.
in fact, we do.
Oh, you do in your job. So you... Were you installing something?
Could be, yes.
What?
No, not like
Central heating or something like that.
Oh,
Lino
no,
tile?
but they didn't
that.
clap.
Ask if it's useful.
Is it useful?
Very.
Is it? Is it useful? Would I use it every day?
Probably.
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 And it
I'll
got
tell you something. I don't think she would. Oh, yes, she might. Yes,
You
I
might.
might use it every day. And would it benefit me, or would it benefit my whole family?
Certainly, yes.
Well, I haven't got a clue to what would benefit my whole family. I don't think you're putting in a fridge or anything. You're not
Ask him.
dancing for anybody.
No, he's
particular.
not dancing. You're quite right. He's not
Yeah.
dancing. Kenneth Williams.
Well, I think this must be to do with some sort of appliance of some kind. It must be appliance. Wires, some of these
What?
Stereo.
Television or radio?
No, it's not stereo television.
I wasn't going to say that anyway. I was going to get something else out, but they put it into my head. They're leading me astray hopelessly.
Now, poor old Bill. You see what you've done, Bill? You've used up your own question. Now it's your turn.
No, I haven't,
Very
actually.
good.
It is an appliance, and there is some wiring involved.
There's wiring. I wouldn't call it an appliance, but there is
You did
wiring
call it an
involved.
appliance, actually, when my friend at the other end... The what?
Come on. Yeah.
Yes.
Come on, Bill.
Now,
It's with you.
as a result of this thing that you install, pleasure is given.
No pleasure. 8 down, 2 to go. Is
No
it
pleasure.
No pleasure at all. What on earth does anybody have it at the home for, then? Is it anything at all to do with the domestic side?
Kenneth Williams is making signs at the audience. Stop
Of
it,
the
Kenneth.
domestic side of the home, such as the cooking side? No.
Nothing to do with the cooking. That's 9 down, Nanette Newman.
Were you fixing a doorbell?
No.
No, he wasn't. He was not fixing a doorbell.
A burglar alarm.
Yes, but you're too late. Yes. Good. You were, in fact, doing a most marvellous thing. Tell us what you were doing, David, in your
In fact,
mind.
I was checking pressure mats which are fitted underneath carpets.
Now, do you think they really do act as a deterrent, these things?
Almost certainly they do. In fact, that since commercial premises are so well protected,
Yep.
the burglar is spending far more attention to the private home, as you probably know to your cost. In fact, it's rather unfortunate that most people have burglar alarms fitted after they've had the burglary.
Yeah, and it often happens to people who live next door to them.
Well, in fact, as you said earlier, does it act as a deterrent? In fact, the burglar comes along and sees a nice box, very well displayed on the front, something quite brilliant, a nice blue box with yellow letters saying burglar alarm. He just goes next door. So if you...
Well, you take that home with you, David Levy, and thank you very much for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you. Sorry. Well, Nanette Newman did frightfully well that time because she got to the bell, but it was the wrong sort of bell that she was on about. Let's see what happens when our next challenger signs in.
I was going to say about the...
Peter O'Connor, welcome to What's My Line. Go to your mime, if you will, please. Right. Thank you very much. A splendid piece of mime. Here, for those of you at home who'd like to see, is what Peter O'Connor does for a living. And he is from Luton in Bedfordshire, and he's self-employed, and I think I'm right in saying it's Nanette Newman to start this time.
Is your work creative at all?
Yes.
Oh,
That's thrown in,
that's
isn't it?
thrown me completely. In your mime, were you holding a pencil?
No.
Nope,
You
he
weren't.
wasn't holding a pencil, Kenneth Williams.
I see. Well, now, you're creative. That is established. Are you creative entirely inside? You are inside.
Not entirely.
No, he says. No, he's not inside. Oh,
Well, everyone, applause. You're all misleading me.
You work,
He's
mate.
doing it in, isn't he? Not
does.
doing it out.
No, he does work mostly inside.
It does work in. So I get it, yes.
Yeah.
Right. Now you're creating, you're doing it inside. Is this to do with artistic work?
Yes.
It's artistic, yes, it's artistic. I feel this. It's wood is in it. Wood, there's wood in it, isn't there? Yes, go on, admit it, it's wood, isn't it?
Sometimes.
Is it really? All right.
Wood is in it and metal. And metal, isn't it? Come on, come out with it. Yes, it's wood and metal. And creative. This is a sort of those things that move. What do they call those things that move? What are they called?
Mobile.
Mobile. You make
No.
Oh, isn't that infuriating? I was getting red hot there.
There seemed to be an additional laugh on creative inside. Yes. Meaning that you create, suggesting that you create inside something, or the inside. Do you make, am I right in saying that you are connected with making the insides of, in the very broadest sense, playthings?
No. No, not in the broadest sense, no. Isabel Barnett?
But the insides of something, and yet it's metal and wood, so it can't be sort of stuffing.
Well, not always.
Stuffing! Oh, what is he stuffing?
For hospital... Does he make hospital skeletons?
Oh, no. You are stuffing something.
Yes.
Yes. Now, what is he stuffing? We've got to find out what he
Does it have to be
stuffs.
specific?
And it's artistic. So we can leave out stuffing old turkeys and all that sort of thing that went with Christmas weeks ago. Oh, yes. Could it be upholstery of some kind?
No, we couldn't. Come on, let's be honest. No, you couldn't.
Could it be toys of some kind?
No.
No, not toys.
No, we've established you're in
Kenneth
taxidermy.
Williams. You established what?
We're in taxidermy, aren't we?
We didn't establish that.
Well, honestly, I think we all imagined it had been established.
No, you might have done, but nobody else did. That's why.
Stuffing the turkey.
Yes.
Well, stuffing automatically
I
leads
tell
to
you this,
taxidermy, doesn't it?
you're absolutely right, because that's where he is. That's
I
what
thought
he
it
is.
was taxidermy. We're discussing. Yes. I thought we had to find that specific.
This is the sort of work, you see, that Mr. O'Connor does. Now, tell us, he calls it taxidermy and you call it taxidermy. As a taxidermist, or whichever you care to call it, what is the purpose of your job? Why do you do it?
Well, when you have a creature dead, most people that are city dwellers don't see these animals in their own state. And this is one way of putting them together for museums, for child education, for the young naturalist, and just pleasure, you know.
It's very beautifully done. How long, in fact, will this stay in this state?
This particular specimen, if it's looked after, will stay longer than the Egyptian mummies. It's a prototype of new type of work coming out in the taxidermy
What about
field.
moth in it or something like that?
Well, you've got to keep the, you know, if the Egyptian
keep the
mummies had
moth all
moths in them, they would finish up a bad way.
Take this marvellous-looking creature with you. It's heavenly. It's a pity that the poor thing's not alive, but thank you for being with us. And I'm sorry you didn't beat the public. Well, thank you. All right. Well, the panel's doing frightfully well this week, as we're really starting on this series. You see, they've got to be good because they've been thinking about it for a rather long time. But now, think about putting your masks on, will you? Because it's slightly different. The form is that somebody will arrive whom you will probably recognise or surely recognise the moment you saw him. They're all blacked out. Will our guest celebrity sign in, please? Right here, Kenneth Williams, your guest celebrity is yours first off.
Well, it's obviously Ken Dodd.
Would you like to ask a question?
Is it Ken Dodd?
No.
No, I'm afraid it's not Ken Dodd. Why? He thought it was Ken Dodd.
Well, it's a big laugh.
Oh, I see. There are other people, perhaps. Bill Franklin.
Before the laugh, there was a mixture of emotions in the audience, like he was a mixture of facets about him. Are you very broadly a popular figure? I don't mean that you have to say you know what I mean by popular figure.
I would say that...
With affection attached to it.
I would say in all immodesty, yes.
Isabel Barnett.
Oh. I'm sure in the world of entertainment, you entertain the public as a performer, not as a sportsman. Yes?
The answer is yes.
Have
you got laryngitis?
Hold on. You can't have that question yet. No.
Are you an actor?
No, yes, he said no. No, he hasn't got laryngitis, that's true. Nanette Newman.
He hasn't got laryngitis.
Are you an actor?
Not strictly speaking, no.
No, not an actor. Kenneth Williams.
But you are a comedian.
Yes.
Bill Franklin? He was quite sure he'd got you a minute ago. Bill. Staring into space of blackness, I'm sure.
Oh, dear. We've got it... No, he's... It's such a range. I wish you'd talk to us at some length. We'd like to have a lecture or
Go on, then,
something.
give him a lecture.
Are you this Christmas involved in pantomime anywhere?
No.
No, he's not. There's no Isabel Barnett.
When you are doing your performances, are you a solo performer?
Yes.
You could sort of say so. Nanette Newman.
Have you had or do you have a television series of your own?
Yes.
Kenneth Williams. Kenneth?
You're lucky.
Oh,
Kenneth.
is it...
Oh, well, I know who it is now, but I can't think... Oh, I do now. I see that... Eh?
I can't find
Yes.
your ear.
You're Dick Emery. Yes? That's it? No? No?
No, he's not, you see. They keep telling poor
I'm
old
not even Dick Emery,
Bill
I
Franklin.
know that voice, you see, and it's driving
Oh,
me
do you?
insane.
How very strange. I'm
But it's
glad you
putting
went
it to it, it's this mixture. It's these things which are so irritating.
But you could take it off and get it.
Yes, I know. No, blindly wandering around. Keep chatting, everybody.
Yeah, come on.
Because down here in this tunnel, it's very lonely. There's a huskiness. Let's try and if I can help the voice. It's that...
Is it David Nixon?
Yo, it's not your turn, Kenneth Williams.
Is it... Are you David Nixon?
No, I'm not David Nixon either, no.
Isabel Barnett.
Oh.
We don't know.
The variations of the voice. Is that what you are known for?
That's why he's doing laryngitis, yes. That's why he's pretending he's got laryngitis.
So,
Nanette, come on.
Yes, aren't
so you
you?
impersonate people?
Ah, yeah.
Have it go. Go on.
Mike Yarwood.
Take off your mask. Take your masks off.
Is that what he did? Don't say loud enough that we can take them off.
You can't
That's
get-
why he was doing the laryngitis, because he knew it would give him away, didn't he?
Yeah, that was actually that voice. I tried to throw you with that voice. That's my agent, who I don't think anybody knows, or certainly nobody on the panel, and I thought I'd use that voice, you know.
Oh.
How many voices do you reckon you can impersonation?
I really haven't counted, David. You know, I suppose on television, near enough 100 different sort of famous people have been involved.
But apart from Ted and Alice, I mean Ted and Harold,
Yeah.
who are your favourites?
They do get mixed, don't they?
My favourite one, I think possibly on television, is Robin Day, because it's a facial thing, and it's something you can look at as well as listen to.
Give us a bit of it.
I'm not prepared at the moment to do this because I don't have the spectacles. And I can't do Ken, and that's
Well,
what
it's
really...
frightfully different.
I know. That's as much as I can do.
How much of the props is necessary for you to create the character?
Well, it depends on the person. If the famous person that I impersonate wears glasses or has a beard or moustache, then it is necessary. But I prefer the ones that need the least amount of props, actually.
Nobody would like it if you went off without doing Ted and Harold. A line of each.
I'm not prepared. If I do it now, heaven knows, if I have anything to say on this programme, Heath will have the right to reply, and I don't think people would enjoy it. I'd just like to say this. If things continue, as they have been continuing, there'll be no What's My Line, because no one will have a line for anyone to have a guess at.
Mike Yarwood.
Thank you,
Thank you
David.
very much indeed. Our thanks to Mike Yarwood, and will our next challenger sign in, please? Please, welcome. Would you go there, please, and give us your mark? Come and join me. Now then, for you at home, this is what Betty Lees does for a living. Good. And for you here in the studio, she comes from Stourbridge in Worcestershire, and she is self-employed. And it's Bill Franklin to start this time.
Good evening, Betty. Good evening. Please. There was a stunned silence, followed by a sort of a half laugh, as if the job was, oh, yes, that's quite interesting, but, oh, so what I'm trying to say, your job is the kind of job that makes people lean forward and say, you do what? Is it that kind of a job?
Yes.
So in that respect, it's an unusual job.
Yes.
Is it more so unusual because a girl is doing it?
No.
No. Fast now. Isabel Barnett.
Miss Lees, good evening. Is this a service that you give?
Yes.
Thank you. Do people come to you for this service?
Yes, they do.
Do they feel better for this service?
Yes.
Do you touch them?
Yes.
Doesn't touch me yet.
I beg your pardon. And now comes the thing. Am I right in thinking you don't work in a hospital? You know, as a
Yes,
job.
yes.
Yes, she is right.
You're
She-
right, yes. I do.
She doesn't work.
So I've got to come to this terrible crunch when it's a case of touching people. Is it above or below the belt? Is it above the belt?
Yes.
You touch them.
Hold on.
And below.
Yeah, right.
I beg your pardon?
And below.
Could be
And
either.
below. Oh,
Could be
it's
either.
both. Oh, what I got away with. Do you do this for both men and women?
Could do, but
No, you don't, do you? You actually don't, do you?
No.
No, she doesn't. She only does it for
Oh, we've
women.
got to find out for
Right.
which.
Is it connected with beauty?
yes.
And it's above and below. Is it, are you anything, do you improve them in some way?
Yes.
You do.
I hope so.
Do you remove something? You're not, you don't do that awful plunging thing that sucks out all the fat out of people's bodies.
No.
No, she doesn't.
No.
Kenneth Williams.
Never even heard of it.
Awful thing, sucking all the fat out. What a horrible thing.
There is such
No,
a
I
thing.
think
Yes,
you
there is.
remove unwanted hair, don't you?
You do. Tell them exactly what it is your job is called.
An electrologist.
Does it
Yes.
hurt when you do it?
Not really, no.
Only I saw the advertised once, and it said, this clinic removes your hair, and my friend said, it removes half your face as well.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
How many hairs can you remove in a minute?
I can remove 100 hairs in 10 minutes.
God heavens. Stay there, because you haven't beaten the panel, but the time's beaten us. Thank you very much for being with us, and thank you for being with us. Join us at the same time next week. So on behalf of the team, that's Kenneth Williams, Nanette Newman, Isabel Barnett, Bill Franklin, and myself, it's goodbye.
So, what a shame. I
Yes.
burst into tears.
Yeah, you're right. But they will very well, is it?